I was actually going to share a little about being here and all the pain that I'm holding. So I'm holding a lot of pain from a lot of directions, and I sat and kind of made a little list. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Holding the pain of the soldiers and the soldiers' families and those who have died in Gaza. I have one of my children is 20 years old, and he did national service instead of the army. He had an exemption because of for health reasons, but most of his closest friends are in Gaza right now. And one of them was killed a couple of weeks ago, and we were at the funeral in the Shiva, and it's extremely, extremely, extremely painful. Um, the pain of all the victims of the massacre on October 7th. One of them whose funeral I was at today, and I'll speak about that in a bit, Vivian Silver. And I've been to so many Shivas and funerals. That's just, you go from funeral to Shiva to funeral to Shiva here now. The pain of the hostages, some that I know personally, some that I don't. Friday I was in Tel Aviv. There's a big square where a lot of the families are sitting, and there's art installations, and it's very, very moving and very, very painful. And to be there and to cry, the pain of those feeling threatened by anti-Semitism all over the world and by Islamophobia, also in Israel. My Arab friends who are feeling threatened that they can't say what they want to say sometimes, or anything they say, they're afraid they're going to be targeted. And the pain of the victims and the innocent victims in Gaza and their families. And the numbers are so big that sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. And I found there was a girl, an 8-year-old girl, whose name was Habiba, and my name is Chaviva, and the Arabic name Habiba and the Hebrew name Habiba, it's the same. And my friends who are Arabic speaking call me Habiba, and I teach spoken English in a village across from my kibbutz, and they all call me Habiba. And so when I saw this beautiful girl who was killed with my name, it really, really touched my heart, my broken heart. The pain of all the displaced people in Gaza and in Israel. There are, I'm not sure how much people know that, the whole south and north of Israel have been displaced and moved. There are whole hotels that are just housing everyone, I assume, for free. There are our kibbutz took in a whole bunch of people. Every place has taken in families and people, and people are volunteering to feed them, to clothe them, to teach them, to occupy them, to give them therapy. It's amazing to witness. That's one of the things that gives me hope and lifts me up in this time. And I'll share about this funeral I was at today of Vivian Silver, who we thought that she was one of the hostages this whole time, and she lived on Kibbutz Be'eri, and they just discovered a couple of days ago that her remains in her house that they were able to identify. It took 6 weeks. It was that bad. It took 6 weeks to identify her remains and discover that she has not been in Gaza this whole time as a hostage. She died on October 7th. She was murdered on October 7th. She was a big peace activist, and even the moment she was hiding in a closet in her house and she was WhatsApping with people and telling them she still believed in peace. And I was at her funeral today, and it was devastating. It was so, so, so sad. But what I'll share is that everyone there was saying that what we need to do is continue her legacy, continue her work, and that what she would want us to do is to go on and keep working for peace, keep fighting for peace, keep believing in peace. And at the end of her funeral, everyone came to the front, and there was no body at the funeral. I'd never been to something like that before. And just started singing songs of peace and putting their hands around each other and singing. And it was just, it was gorgeous. So before I read my poem, so I want to say that that's something that's really given me hope and kept me going during these 6 weeks. Was I'm active also in peace work and in building shared society, what we call it, or Arab Jewish solidarity in Israel. I live in the Galilee, and we've been meeting all through this, our groups, and I want to share that with you, to know that we're still together and meeting and continuing to meet, to know we're together in this has just really, really given me hope. And so the poem I want to share is the morning, I guess it was today's Thursday, I don't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, when we heard that Vivian's remains were identified. And I wrote this poem that morning, and when it comes up, I'll read it. Okay. And the first line of it is from the Etty Hillesum, who wrote a diary when before she was killed in Auschwitz, when she was 29 years old. And this quote is actually from one of her letters that she wrote from Westerbork concentration camp before she was sent to Auschwitz. This is a quote from that. "That is what I want to be, the thinking heart of an entire concentration camp." And here's my poem. I am Anne Frank, believer in the good heart of every human, that faith and courage can prevent a miserable death, that sitting in nature with God alone can bring comfort and hope. I am Etty Hillesum, believer in God and in man, in the ability of inner peace to bring peace, of the surrender to death to ease all death, of the wide horizon and the rose-red cyclamen to nurture hope. I am Vivian Silver, believer in people. In peace alone is the path to peace, that extending a hand will receive a hand, that women's voices can end this hell, that having friends on the other side of the fence can make a difference. I am me, sitting in despair when the body of the last of these women has been found cremated, yet this time without the mercy of gassing her first. And I wonder what Anne and Etty were thinking when they marched into Auschwitz, what Vivian was thinking as Hamas terrorists opened the door to the closet where she was hiding. Or did they not find her and simply burn her house with her in it, hoping she was in there somewhere so they could slaughter another Jew? With all the words my soul sisters left me, I will never know their thoughts at that moment in time, their feelings as the worst was happening to them. I can never know what they believed as they faced pure evil. I am left with only my own thinking heart. In this nightmare humanity has dreamt for itself. So that's what was going through my head before the funeral, and I am feeling more hopeful now. And I have a prompt for you all, a writing prompt, and I'll do it too. So the writing prompt is, here it is. Okay. What is your thinking heart telling you at this time?